I'm Pat McNees, and I think the reason I was asked to do this is that I started out working in book publishing in the 60s. I worked for 8 years, first at Harper & Row and then at Fawcett. And then when my daughter was born, I realized that the babysitter would make more than I was making, so I started freelancing, and I've been freelancing since 1971, sometimes on books, sometimes journalism, and in about 1990 I started doing something that I recommend for all of you too, helping people tell their life story. I have a couple of books here that I'll show as an example. So in a way what's happened is that I help pull together their story, and then I arrange for it to be published in something that's more like custom publishing than publishing with a Vanity Press or Lulu or what's the other one? Create Space. And so I'll talk about that a little if there's time, and because it's the sort of thing you can do too. It doesn't have to be someone's life story. It can be something anyone wants you to help them write, either by you helping them pull together their own writing or interviewing them and shape it into a narrative, or finding the people to put together something they want, like a history of their organization, which I recommend because it's fairly lucrative. Thomas Allen has, I mentioned in a note that he had been quite good as a teacher, and I got slapped down for not bragging enough about him. So he was far more formidable than I had indicated. His work ranges from writing articles for National Geographic magazine to writing more than 30 books on various subjects. His latest book, Tories Fighting for the King in America's Civil War, was a History Book Club selection. A narrative history of loyalists in the American Revolution. Another one co-published by the National Geographic Society and the International Spy Museum is Declassified, 50 Secret Documents That Changed History, also a History Book Club book. And he's done web page editing and writing for the National Museum of American History, the National Portrait Gallery, National Geographic Online, and the Central Intelligence Agency, Intelligence in the Civil War. I thought I would have him start because first of all, he's been around for a while, so he's seen publishing change, and he was just telling me about some of the mysteries of having some of your books at ebooks and trying to figure out what it was that he was getting from whom.
Yeah.
Right, do I say that?
Yeah.
So I'd like him just to start, and then we'll have questions after he gives his brief overview.
Well, I felt funny about being asked to talk about changes in publishing because right now I have a book proposal that's been making the rounds for 1 year. It's in the hands of a publishing house for now not quite a month, and I have no idea how long this is going to take. The change is that basically, I think, is that publishers aren't quite sure what to publish and writers aren't quite sure what to write. And that sounds a little glib, but I can get to some statistics about it. I think that everything that's going on in publishing right now comes down to two words: Amazon and copyright. In terms of copyright, I'm a member of the Authors Guild. Authors Guild in 2002 started a suit against Google for scanning books and articles and not giving any compensation, let alone getting any permission from either the writer or the publisher. That was 2002. The suit has been extending, and it's still going on. In 2013, a federal judge upheld Google, saying Google was doing a great job of spreading education, but it wasn't spreading any money to authors, and that touches directly onto copyright. The tendency on the web is for anything that's on the web is for free. Anything on the web can be downloaded and anything done to it. What it comes down to in practical legal terms is if something of mine goes up, on the web and want it down, then if you can find the person who put it up, that person is obliged to take it down. It's sort of like the Wild West. I mean, like there's marshals here and there, but they don't really wear badges and you don't know who they are. So I'm in a class action suit, still, the one that started in 2002, and the Authors League is still fighting it. The kind of the most interesting problem that any author has is what's going to happen to that copyright. The copyright is yours. What I love about copyright is it's in the Constitution. I mean, it actually says Congress shall have the right to make laws to aid authors and inventors. So that's what Congress did in 1790, and it's been doing it ever since. So you really are protected by a good, solidly based constitutional law, but you also have to face the fact that publishers had honored that. I mean, when publishers was much more of a kind of gentlemanly profession.
Terribly sorry, but
okay.
I arrived.
But now with the rise of Amazon, that 41% of the books published last year, new books published last year, were sold. Amazon sold 41% of the new books published last year. 67% of those were 67% of all ebooks published last year were published by Amazon. And those are last year's figures. I'm sure they're going up. So that's what you're content with. A real changing scene in publishing, beginning with Amazon and including attacks on copyright.